Okay, dann hat er also doch nicht den Cup von Natsume benutzt und jetzt, okay, jetzt sagt, wie heißt er, Pansix, ja, ist ja normal, dass man mal was vergisst, ne? Ist ja alles normal, ne? Alles in Ordnung. Oh Mann. Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that the spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched the skull. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, the testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. Hä? Aber wenn der Tee dann doch nicht die Coins nicht mit Mr. Natsumes Tee gemacht wurden, sondern mit einem anderen, dann besteht auch die Möglichkeit, dass der Sham-Spieler das mit seinem eigenen Tee gemacht hat, oder nicht? Dass der Tee dann doch nicht vergiftet war. Okay. Okay. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot. Ach so, hat... Okay. Never mind, in der Teekanne hat es dann benutzt. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from a bit about the thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stewed as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. Insalubrious. Ungesund. Okay. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly will I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray you wise and noble fellows, never forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shakespeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. Okay, jetzt kommt wieder die Summation Examination, wir kennen's ja. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the way there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad said if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim here has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be strayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No, you can't yet. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day! Oh, happy day! Yeah! How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. Ihr wisst das ja wahrscheinlich schon, wenn ihr das Let's Play verfolgt, aber ich bin kein großer Fan von der Summation Examination, weil ich finde es so lächerlich, weißt du? Ich finde es so lächerlich, es wird immer auf so spannend gemacht, aber es ist doch von vornherein klar, wie es ausgeht, so. Auf eine Art, es ist von vornherein klar, wie es ausgeht, ne? Dass wir die Tables turnen können, wahrscheinlich. Wäre mal cool, wenn wir das vielleicht nicht könnten, obwohl das wäre dann auch doof. Und auf der anderen Seite, es ist so lächerlich und overpowered irgendwie. Wenn ich die Prosecution wäre, wenn ich Van Siegs wäre, würde ich mich einfach verarscht vorkommen, auf Neudeutsch gesagt, Entschuldigung für den Kraftausdruck, dass ich den Klienten jetzt schon 5-mal schuldig gesprochen habe, übertrieben gesagt, aber dann immer noch der Anwalt, der Strafverteidiger herkommen kann und sagen kann, ja, ich will eine Summation Examination und ich will hier ich will das nochmal around turnen, so. Da will ich mich einfach, wenn ich das schon mehrmals bewiesen habe, dass der Angeklagte schuldig ist, weiß ich nicht, da würde ich mich als Staatsanwalt ein bisschen verarscht bekommen. Aber es ist natürlich, wir wollen ja auch nicht, dass noch zu mal schuldig gesprochen wird. Deswegen geben wir hier mal unser Bestes. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing has passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really shouldn't mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shanfield was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that. Then, how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shanfield was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say. That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big moustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger moustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, this summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should ultimate gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, madam. It seems my fellow jurors take issues with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt moustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable. No, Miss Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Miss Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. The stuff explodes and can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is.
Hold it!
Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time. You'd take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set them straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a wound. Ah! You're right, I hadn't considered that at all. Das ist so irrelevant gerade. Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. Ja, weil... Natürlich, du kannst dich ja verteidigen, aber das ist hier gerade nicht der Punkt. Du sollst erklären, warum du ihn schuldig gesprochen hast, nicht warum Gas so teuer ist. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosion and its poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting introduced, What about getting introduced, ja moin. Electrocuted, what about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know? Reprobates. Schurken, okay. More devious. Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies. Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers, fair and square. Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are other, unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see? And sell that. Okay. Nobody is questioning that, madam. Other gas companies, okay. Also stehen die in Konkurrenz. They steal your gas. How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours, without us even knowing. They are diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from the meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Hallo? Juror number 3? Hast du was zu sagen?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little wild about it recently, you see? Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? A secret check. Das hört sich nach einem Scam an. nach den Telekom-Arbeitern, die angekündigt kommen. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets here. Oh please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Okay. Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these previous scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. Okay, warte. There's no contract with the company Flicker. Ah, okay. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't flicker. It didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster! The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went on. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. The lights didn't just, they went out. Okay. so by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Okay, also war das die Art und Weise, wie der Duncan Ross erstickt ist und wie Natsume immer aufwacht, dass er meint ja, er wacht immer auf, wenn sein Ofen aus ist, obwohl er ihn angemacht hat. Und dann ist ist nur noch Gas in der Luft. Wenn ich das jetzt richtig erinnere. Also wahrscheinlich ist da dann jemand, ja, seinen Ofen ausgepustet. Juror number 3. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do! That's our company's secret method of identifying the... Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you are in real trouble.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors? Oh yes, all floors are connected to the same pipe after all. That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties. Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe. It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest, but we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Indeed, it has been mentioned on more than one occasion in the papers even. Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps, yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all of these strange occurrences. Gas doesn't come for free, it costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Das hatten wir ja noch nicht komplett, ne? Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? An all-out attack underway here in case you hadn't noticed against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted and about that? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know? More devious. Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies. Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers, fair and square. Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. But there are other, unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas. How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnected our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They are diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from the meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening. All the time. Right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know? Very difficult indeed. Thank you, that will do. Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already. I concur. Though if my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much. You will turn your attention to the next Jewer's assertion, please, Counsel. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
Hold it!
You mean it's poison? That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway. I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Ich glaube, du solltest dir eine neue Frau suchen vielleicht. Let's move on, please. If nothing else past the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning? Sorry? What's that now? Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here. Okay. Die Expression kenne ich dann nicht. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all. It would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose. The trouble is, he has selective hearing. Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Kann das denn sein, dass der Shakespeare nicht vom Giftfass erstickt wäre, sondern vom Gas? Könnte das sein? This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shakespeare was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way and not via Mr. Natsume's tea. Muss es ja das Gas sein, ne? Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen. Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten. Oh, like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course. Once again, Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. I ought to let him remind me. Then again... Na, ich brauch das nicht. Nee. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay. Ich würde dann sagen, wir speichern nochmal. Okay. Warte mal kurz. Nochmal. Medical Report. Cause of coma, ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on 21st February. Assessed from the victim's pocket watch, it appears to have broken when the man collapsed out of the late onset of symptoms. No container of the poison was found at the scene. Okay. Jetzt bin ich doch unsicher. Wir speichern mal.